Some businesses fail fast, others slowly disappear. But the question is how to make a business last for decades, maybe last for your entire life. I am 47 years old, living in Brazil, and for all of my adult life, I have been working for myself. So I am doing business since I start working. Since actually I work for my father in the beginning of my working life. I started work with 14 years old, work for my father until 18, maybe 19 years old. After that, I was working for myself. It's not that because I have a fight with him or anything like that. It's just because the normal fluency of life. Things just happened. My parents, they retired and I started working for myself. They tried to help me in what they could, and this help was very valuable and they helped me actually a lot. But the main thing is this: how you can maintain your work valuable through the decades. In many occasions, sometimes you are not able to see what is going to happen in the future because things happen slowly and they are unpredictable. For example, here in my city, you have the downtown center of the city that was very busy, very crowded, a lot of people there, and it has always been that way in my whole life. And people who own properties in that location, own real estate in that location, they were always rich people. I always thought when I was young, I started to work with real estate, and my dream was to own a store or more than one store to rent in the downtown area, the center of the city. Because to my eyes at that moment, it seems that that would be the perfect investment where you would be able to get a lot of money for to rent the real estate property. And this was great for many decades. It was this way. Now, because of the, I believe that most because of the internet, the shopping stores are not as crowded as they used to be. People are buying everything on the internet. So now it's not as a good business as it was in the past. For example, in my case, what I would do, what I would try to do, I would try to find a lot in a good location in the center of the city and build a store or more than one. I was never able to do it because the lots were too expensive. I just couldn't do it. I didn't had have enough money to do this. And because of that, I end up building in other areas of the city, but not stores, because the the kind of real estate that were desirable in these other areas were different. Instead of building stores or shops, I built small warehouses to, for example, to garage, office, car stores, garage, to people to storage things, to be warehouses where you are going to storage different materials to sell, this kind of real estate investment. And I built everything. And actually, it has proven to be a better investment. Why is that? Because you always need this kind of space to storage things, and not always you are going to need spaces in the center of the city. You know something, here in my city, now they are using these kind of spaces for different uh, entrepreneurship. For example, right now, I'm remembering this just now, in the center of the city, in the most crowded place that was crowded in the past, but nowadays is not as crowded as it was, there is now a dentist, a very nice, a very beautiful place where work a lot of dentists. And that was unimaginable 10 years ago. Why was that? Because 10 years ago would be impossible for the dentists to rent such a place because it was too expensive for them. What leads me to understand right now that now is not as expensive as it were in the past. Now they are renting it. So to keep your business working for many years, you have a lot of entrepreneurs that can understand this differently from me. I understand this mainly in two parts. Most important one, you have to do what you do in a very professional way without taking risk risks in many occasions, without taking risks every day, without taking risks from time to time. And you need to understand that your let's say that you are going to invest every day, every month. You are going to invest with the profit of your entrepreneurship, of your firm, of your company. All right. Then you are going to have a lot of cash, a pile of money, a reserve. That's what you need. For example, my father, we used to have a small factory of wheels for gates. Here in Brazil, almost all houses have gates, and you need wheels to put under the gate for it to move. All right. So we had a small factory of these wheels or pulleys. All right. But my dad, he also owned at that moment um, three or four small warehouses. So he had money invested. So he have an income from his company and another income from the investments. And every and each time that the company passed through a difficult moment, a difficult time, he was able to get money from the investments and put it on the company. Because you are going to pass through difficult times. And you need a strategy to face them, to face these difficult times that are going to happen anyway, you willing or not. So, the one time that I have to close the doors of the company was from this company that my father left to me when he retired. Why was that? I was working, I was trying really hard, but I wasn't able to keep things flowing because lack of money. I didn't have the cash. So, in the first hard time that I faced, I wasn't able to keep things going. Simple as that. But it was a good experience for me. I I learned a lot from it. And when I start to deal with real estate, I was afraid to lose what I was investing. Actually, I believe that real estate protects you from yourself, from your own mistakes. For example, let's take my case. I own several small warehouses here in my town and in the town next to mine. All right, for me to make decisions about these investments that I own is not as easy as if I have the money in the bank. The real estate do not have the same liquidity as other investments. So I need to be very careful on how I am going to invest my money. And in each decision, I need to be careful. So, for example, uh, um, I built a warehouse 20 years ago here in my city, and it is rented since then. 20 years rented. What should I do with this real estate property now? I can sell it and put the money in other investments, stocks, or other things. Or I can sell it and build another warehouse, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. Or I can stay with it receiving the rent. To put the money in the stock market or other investments, I should be able to get more money than the rising of the price that I've been getting in this warehouse. So it's difficult to get this kind of money because I have seen this warehouse raising the price more than 5 times during these 20 years. More than 10 times if you think about the money that I really invest to put the warehouse together. So, very difficult decision. If you are going to sell it to build another one, for this I have a very clear rule, which is this. I'm only going to sell if I am able to build 1.5 warehouse, or even better, if I would be able to build 2 warehouses that I'm going to rent for the same price. For example, if I'm renting the warehouse for 10,000, let's say, I'm only going to sell it if with the money that I'm getting, I'll be able to build another one that I'm going to rent for 15,000. at least. Would be a better possibility if I would be able to sell it and to build another one that I would be able to rent for 20,000 instead of 10,000. This would be even better. But if the reality is not that, I'm not selling. Simple as that. So this is what I believe that is the most important thing for you to keep your business running for decades. You need to be very safe into what you are doing. You need to be you need to have a strong reserve of money. With these two things, then you are able to manage what is you are going to do to keep yourself alive. Because it's not about um, just growing your business every year. In many moments, you are not going to grow. You are going to even reduce the size of your business. But it's a matter of making money and staying alive, surviving. This is the most important thing. All right, my friends, this is all that I have for you today. Thank you all that are watching. I'll see you in the next video.